UNSW is committed to its values in action, and its call for us to embrace diversity and display respect in all our interactions with one another. And this is reinforced in our student and staff codes of conduct. As a student or staff member of UNSW, you have the right to feel safe and secure at all times on campus and to fully participate in all aspects of university life. At UNSW, we do not tolerate harmful behaviours, including bullying, harassment, and sexual misconduct and assault. The university is committed to preventing all such behaviour and supporting those who've been harmed by this conduct. This video will clarify behaviour associated with commonly used terms relating to sexual misconduct. We will be defining sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, sexual touching, sexual acts, and sexual assault. Sexual misconduct is the umbrella term that describes unacceptable behaviour of a sexual nature. Sexual misconduct includes every type of sexually inappropriate behaviour, from sending unwanted explicit images and unwanted sexual advances, to sexual harassment, sexual assault, and revenge porn. Any act of sexual misconduct occurring in university settings will always involve a breach of UNSW's codes of conduct. Sexual harassment involves any unwelcome sexual behaviour towards another person, when it can reasonably be expected that the person would feel intimidated, humiliated, or upset by the behaviour. Examples of sexual harassment include suggestive comments or jokes, intrusive questions about private life or physical appearance, and repeated requests for dates or pressure to have sex. Inappropriate physical contact, such as unwelcome touch, hugging or kissing someone without their consent. Intimidating or threatening behaviours, like inappropriate staring or leering, sexual gestures, indecent exposure, or being followed or watched. Some of these behaviours are also crimes. Displaying or being given materials that are sexually explicit or offensive. Stalking and intimidation, which may occur through phone calls, texting, emailing, or physical following. Sexual touch involves unwelcome sexual contact. It includes touching any part of a person's body, even through clothes. An example is being groped on the backside by someone as you walk past them. This is a crime in New South Wales. A sexual act is when a person does something of a sexual nature towards someone without their consent that does not involve touch. For example, masturbating in front of another person or flashing. This is also a crime in New South Wales. Sexual assault is when a person is forced, coerced, or tricked into sexual acts against their will or without their consent, or if a child or young person under 18 is exposed to sexual activities. It is the most serious type of sexual misconduct and often involves the unwanted penetration of some part of a person's body. Non-consensual penetration is always illegal, and a person cannot give consent if they are intoxicated, asleep, or in any way coerced. The UNSW community supports affirmative consent, which means we should all ensure that we have an enthusiastic yes from the other person, rather than the absence of a no before engaging in sexual activity. And remember, everyone has a right to change their mind about sex at any time. Sexual misconduct can happen to people of all ages, genders and sexualities, within or outside of a relationship. The portal allows anyone to report an incident of sexual misconduct, including sexual assault or harassment, whether you've been directly affected, are a witness to an incident, or a support person. Reports can be made anonymously and will remain confidential unless specifically stated by the person reporting. Sexual misconduct can also be reported to the police at any time. Sexual misconduct is an abuse of power, and it is never the fault of the person who is subjected to it. This behaviour is always unacceptable and should always be reported so that UNSW and the society it exists within can be a safe and equitable place for all.